Hello everyone. In the previous chapter, we saw how to create a project, and how to add one or more thumbnails to it. In this chapter, we will see the different elements that we can put in a thumbnail. Open your program, and in an empty project, add an empty thumbnail. His time, and the time of transition, are not important in this chapter. Now we will open a thumbnail editor. To do this, there are many possibilities. I will list them for you, and you will use the one that seems most appropriate to you. Either you click on the menu, View, or a right-click on your thumbnail, and you click on Objects and Animation. Either you click on the command Objects and Animation in the lower command bar, or you double-click on your thumbnail. And finally, or you use the key combination Ctrl+B. Your thumbnail editing window opens, and for the moment it is completely empty. What can we put in a thumbnail? First, remember that there will always be the background. This may be different for each thumbnail, but it cannot be modified during the time that your thumbnail lasts. Then we can add different types of elements, which will always be in front of the background. Attention, I did not say that they will always be visible, but only in front of the background. What are the types of elements we can use? The different types are, first, present in the upper command bar, and subsequently represented by the first 7 icons on the left, if you have not modified the default parameters. Let's take them in order. First, a camera. It represents movies, and therefore, using it, you can import video type files, and view them in your thumbnail. Click on it, and an Explorer window opens, allowing you to select your video file, which, as you can see, can be in a large number of formats, such as MP4, AVI, animated GIF, and many more. As it stands, if you select a file, and click Open, your video will be added to the foreground. It will cover the screen at its widest point. If it is in 16:9, it will cover perfectly the entire screen, since this is the basic and default format of the program. If you click on the play command, you will be able to see the first 5 seconds of your video, since this is the default time of a thumbnail, and also hear its order track, if it owns one. If your video is shorter than the thumbnail time, it will remain frozen at its last frame until the end of the thumbnail time, but also within the time of the thumbnail transition next, when there is one. We will see in the next chapter how we can modify the start, end and duration times of the video, and the possible actions on its order track. The next icon represents a capital M, an M-like mask. Briefly, because it will require an entire chapter, a mask allows by the use of one, or combination, of images, in grayscale, or in alpha format, to see, or to mask, by transparency, one or more elements placed in an element container of this mask. Yes, that's a bit of Chinese, but you'll see that with practice, you'll quickly understand how it works. If, for a simple example, you click on this command, a drop-down menu opens, with 3 possibilities. Let's use the first one, add a mask template. A window opens allowing you to choose the type of mask you want to use. Let's leave it as it is for the moment, that is, by default, a white circle with a gradient towards black on its outline, and click on Validate. Oh? What is that? Well, yes, as in many programs, when an object is transparent, it is replaced by a grey and white checkerboard. At the moment, our mask only contains the image forming this mask, the gradient white circle, but no object to mask. Since we have already seen the video command, in the window containing the list of elements of the thumbnail, the lower part of the right insert, whether under Properties, or, under Animation, select the element, Contents of the mask by a simple click, then, click on the video icon, at the top, on the left, and select a video. Then, click on Open. Now our video still covers the whole screen, but only the part inside the white part of the mask is visible. As I told you, this type of element offers a multitude of possibilities, and this will be described in the following chapters. The following icon represents a frame, and will insert an invisible frame in your montage. Well, why put an invisible frame? If it's invisible, it won't be seen in our montage, so what's the use? To many things. We work with a programming 3 dimensions, not in 2. And moreover, this program allows you to link elements or groups of elements between them. The frames will generally serve as a basis for elements, or groups of elements, to be able to animate them in a single operation, and not by having to repeat or recalculate the animation of each element. You will quickly see their usefulness, and, with a little logic, how to best use them. The next icon represents a command button, which is also the case. We will see their use in a more advanced chapter, because their functions are only used in executable mode of your project. If you click on it, it will add a command button, with the text button, which will appear in your montage in video mode, but will not have a defined action in the course of this one. Just for information, most of the elements that you add to your montages can also have control functions. We will also see this in later chapters. The next icon, a capital T, a T-like text. It allows the insertion of text in your assembly, text which could be narrations, information, subtitling, or whatever you want to do with it. By default, if you click on this icon, you will add white text, with Arial font, and the content text. We will see in the text chapter how to format and modify it. The following icon, in the shape of a small gradient square, inserts a rectangle of uniform color, or gradients at different angles. By default, it inserts a rectangle in 16:9 format, with a size of 1920 by 1080, in HD therefore, which is in vertical gradient colors, from blue to white. In the tab Properties, you can rename your rectangle in the field Name. Modify its filling style, either plane, either gradient vertical, horizontal, or in both diagonals. In the control Fill, modify its color, or the start and end colors for a gradient, in the field Color, and its size, in width and height, in field Original size. The other fields will be seen in due course. And finally, the last element icon, a small image, allows you to insert elements such as photos, or images, into your thumbnail. As for videos, it opens an Explorer window, where you can select the image to import, then, by clicking on Open, to insert it into your view. As for videos, it will cover your screen at its widest point, and if it is in the same format as the default format of your montage, it will cover it entirely. Here, we have just seen the different types of elements that can be used in our projects. In the following chapters, we will see how to format and parameterize our elements. Thank you for your attention, and see you soon. Katerina and Patrick.